What's going on, Malakis? VNNCC3 here, and this video is going to be full of constructive criticism for the new update that just dropped in Raid Shadow Legends that added faction wars. But before I get into that, I want to address one of the comments made on a previous video that I made that had stuff to do with the substats and the type of gameplays and all that good stuff. So I don't want to call this person out, but here's the comment right above my head. They said, so faction wars is 10% of the gameplay, making 12 full teams, compared to make 3 to 4 heroes, and starting here for clan boss is 90%. And yeah, that's very, very true. Riddle me this, Batman, in all your infinite wisdom. How are you ever going to play and gear out or do any of that stuff with those full teams without having any artifacts? Like, and I'm talking about correct artifacts with correct stats. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? So here's my reply. I said, yep, you should care way more about dungeons and clan boss over faction wars. Faction wars really only benefits the higher end player base who are on that 10% of gameplay. 10% of gameplay meaning you're building niche teams for things like Spider 20, building niche teams for, you know, Ice Golem or Fire Knight Castle or whatever the case may be is. That's that 10% of the gameplay or the 10% player base, because let's be honest, most of the players in this game are not even on Spider like 13 or 15. They're like still stuck at Spider 7 or 8 or 9, okay? You guys quickly forget about the free-to-play player base and the fact that they don't have, different champions or access to refreshing their energy constantly or whatever the case may be is. But anyways, I said you need gear to even do faction wars, and collecting gear takes way longer than you could ever imagine, especially if you're trying to get good gear. And that is very, very true. That's so true. It takes a really long time if you're simply trying to gear out your champions and you're trying to get them with correct stats. It takes a very long time. In fact, it takes so much time that it's pretty much all I ever do when I log in. I do my quick 10 arenas really fast. I do my clan boss if I remember to. If I remember to. And I pretty much just put on auto on my dungeons. That's pretty much what I do. I farm gear more than anything else, and I consider myself on that 10% of the player base. But I want to point something out to you guys really quick just to divert your attention. Check that out. Here's the absolute top grossing games as of today. This list does change from time to time. It changes daily. But if you take note here, Raid Shadow Legends is ranked 38th on this entire list. I want you guys to keep that in mind with this next part that I'm going to be getting into. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into that, shall we? So, faction wars. Here's some constructive criticism, okay? Here's what I would like to say. I have this piece of gear here that I put a 1% HP enchant on, or glyph, I should say, right? But there's absolutely no way for me to take this glyph off. Literally, there's no way I can take this glyph off. So, for them to add a mechanic in the game, but then for you to not to be able to undo it, kind of sucks, to be honest with you. It merely does make you want to pick and choose how you add your glyphs to your gear. I believe that they might add some monetary way, which means spending your gems or spending your cash in the cash shop to get your certain removal of your glyphs or something like that, which is fine. It's a game. They got to make their money. But I wish they would have implemented it now instead of much later in the game when people are like, oh, crap, I just got a really awesome piece of gear and I rolled 4 times and I got all the stats I wanted. But they can't remove their glyphs that are really good because it's simply not implemented in the game. So I'm going to say, I wish they would have implemented that now. And here's the other part I want to talk about, okay? Talk about glyphs. Let's talk about this piece of chest right here. Now, I used a level 1 glyph, and the only way to get rid of that level 1 glyph is to use an upgraded version of that glyph. I have, I had 2 HP 2s right here on this chest piece that I could have used right here, right? Or even HP 1s. But it would not allow me to re-roll that stat, which is really garbage in my opinion. So here's what I'm talking about. Let me bring up a different piece of gear. Let's talk about this right here. One of my good weapons, or what I consider to be a good weapon for my Bad Alcazar. If I rolled accuracy, right? If I got a 6-star accuracy glyph, like somewhere right around here or whatever the case is, and I was to add it to this piece of gear, it has a range, whether it's like 14 to 18, right? If I roll a 14 on that glyph when it gets added, I have no way of changing that. As of right now, like I said, they're going to monetarily, most likely, add a way for you to change that. But I don't appreciate it. I really don't. I think that if I've If I've got 2 HP percent glyphs that I want to add to this gear, I should be able to do that. I shouldn't have to match the stats. First off, that's a whole mess on its own, which I'll cover here in a second. But, you know, hypothetically speaking, if this gear had HP percent as one of the substats, if I have 2 glyphs with HP percent, I should be able to re-roll that if I want to. Like I said, it really only caters to like that really higher end player base that has the certain substats that they've got, and they've got plentiful amounts of gear with those stats on it, and they can basically say, oh, I didn't roll max HP percent. Okay, I don't want that. Let me roll on my next piece of gear. Oh, I only got, 17% instead of 18%. I'm going to disregard that piece of gear. Am I saying it's a hindrance? Not really, because extra stats are really good no matter what. So I'm not trying to criticize that part of the actual, update. I'm trying to criticize the fact that you cannot change the roll. You have no way of changing that glyph roll, which adds to that further layer of RNG, which further only caters to those players who can constantly refresh their energy to go collect the gear and roll on their stats and whatnot. But that's for a different game, right? It's for a different ballpark, right? Now, let's talk about the adding certain stats in here. Now, I wish Plarium would have done that. That would have made it so much more interesting. Really, it would have. If this gear is lacking, let's say, crit percent, if I rolled a crit percent glyph, or if I got one on one of my drops, I would love to add it to this item. Why? Because it would make this item that much better. Adding more of the substats it already has, yes, it does make it better. I'm not going to make that argument with you, but I wish they would have at least allowed that to happen. So, if I was to add speed, that's fine. It's only going to go 1 of 1. Enchant success, right? This little bar tells me it can fail, by the way. That sucks, right? And so here we go. I have attack percent. I can add an attack percent. That's cool. I just gained 1% more attack and 1 more speed. That's good business. That's really, really good stuff. But here's where they mess up at. I cannot add that second attack. I can't re-roll that. That sucks, man. And let's get into the next part, okay? Here's another part of constructive criticism that I really wish that they... Here's where that 38, by the way, 38 top grossing as of today, because it changes daily, here's where that comes in. I'm going to go to my Faction Wars, I'm going to go to my Demon Crypt, and I don't really care about this. I really, truly don't. Let's hit this start button. Of course, I don't have an aura because I don't care if I have an aura. Give me a second, okay? Game, please load faster. That's another thing. Please load the game faster. I'm on a really badass computer. Really, it truly is. It's like 10 grand for this computer. Custom built, by the way. Yes, I'm very computer savvy. It's a really good computer. 2 times 2080 Ti's in it. That's all I'm saying. If everything's water cooled, not going to get into it, okay? I'm a little bit of a rant right now, okay? But, wait, the gameplay? Oh, it's not any different. Out of the tens of millions of dollars Plarium makes on this game, you would think that they would add some unique type of gameplay. This is literally no different at all. For me going into a dungeon, I am not experiencing anything different in this gameplay. I am truly not. If I go to battle, go to dungeons here, select my dragon lair, because it's pretty much where my life exists on this game, because I want that life still set. I really do. And I hit the start button, okay? Let me compare the gameplays. I just want to see if I'm experiencing something new or different. Right? As soon as it loads, because it's going to take forever to load. I don't know why it does. Oh! Are you telling me that it's just a different background? That's all they did? They basically cut along the edges right here, and they reskinned it doggone it, like everything else in this game. They have all this unique opportunity to create better gameplay and unique gameplay. Actual content. Actual content. But what I find that they're doing is they're just reskinning, repurposing, reusing. Don't get me wrong, they'd make great environmentalists, but as far as the game developer goes, this is really piss poor in my opinion. There's literally no different experience that I have in this game other than this right here. I wish that they would give you the opportunity to maybe move your champions around or make them do certain things that you want them to do, other than just, taking it off of auto and saying, oh, do I want to use the taunt ability here, suppression? Yeah, let's use that, okay? Let's go, boom. Yeah, now they're all taunted. I wish they would have added some unique feature other than you can get glyphs, basically. Like, that's my biggest gripe about all of this, is the fact that they simply did not choose to change anything about the game. Players may like that. They might actually truly like that. I really don't know. But realistically, I don't appreciate it. I find zero enjoyment out of playing this game right now. I really do. Like, that's another reason why I am basically free to play at this moment. Because there's nothing unique. Like, there's nothing that says, VNN, you must go out there and spend, because you enjoy this game mode so much that you will spend every dollar you've got. And that's not true. Like, the only game mode that's different and unique is basically rolling for champions. Let's roll for a champion, right? I bet you I get a blue, right? Bet you I get a blue. Oh, I get a purple. What purple is it? Oh, faceless. I've already got like 50 of this guy. It's okay though, right? It's okay though, right? Man. And, you know, for you guys that are out there, it's like, oh, you don't enjoy it because you don't have other champions. And, bro, like, that's all I'm going to say, okay? Like, and yes, the list just keep going on and on and on. I don't really care, though, okay? I wish that they would have spent any amounts of their revenue. Any amounts, because real talk, look, they're ranked number 38 in the entire world. Out of all the games that are being released right now, they are ranked 38 for the most grossing game for the day. So I just wish that they would have spent some of that revenue and made a unique feature, bros. Like, unique feature. And here's that part I'm kind of griping about and kind of complaining about, is that this reminds me a lot of like Spider 20, you know, or the Spider Dungeon, because it really is like kind of a paywall. It really is. Like, you can only start to get really good glyphs starting at, you know, pretty much rank 20 of the stage and rank 21. You're not going to get a book a second time. So what's the incentive of doing rank 21 over doing rank 20? And here's that 10% of gameplay. You can see that the keys are increasingly getting more and more and more. And yeah, I haven't even talked about this feature right here. Shh. You can hear me clicking on it, right? Eventually that's going to get monetized somehow. They're going to add a money feature is what my guess is going to be, because people are going to go ape poop over this. They're going to say, I'll spend all my money and give you like $20 for 50 keys. I probably just made somebody $1 million, right? Just by saying that. But they're making it increasingly more expensive. So like, this will be 2 keys, then it'll go 3 keys, 3 keys, 3 keys, 3 keys, 3 keys, 4 keys, 4 keys, 4 keys, 4 keys, 4 keys, you know, yada, 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 right? So you're realistically only going in and using up your energy bar, essentially, and doing it. Like, that's, I don't know, man. Look, I think they took a big L on this one. It's not that I can't do the faction wars, and it's not like I can't get my arbiter. I can get her whenever I want to. I really can. But it's the same thing. Like, I don't have any use for her in any of the teams I use. That's why I don't have her. You talk about doing Spider 20 on auto. I do Spider 20 on auto all the doggone time. Here's the team that I use. I've got a good team for it. I've got everything I need to do it. It's just not beneficial to me. There's nothing unique about it. Yeah, I can go farm artifacts. I can go do this, but it's all the exact same game mode. There's no real unique mechanics aside from like the bosses, really. Like, let's talk about that just for really quick, right? What am I running on? 13 minutes of just kind of rant and blah, 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 blah. So I'll tell you this much, right? The Sacred Order boss was different than, let me see here. It was different than the High Elf boss, right? It was just different. There was a different feature on it. The High Elf boss stripped buffs and the other one didn't. But isn't that like the same exact thing of like the keeps right here? Isn't it like the same exact thing? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Scoobs, but like, isn't it the same exact gameplay? Like, it truly is. This is the part that upsets me, because this boss has different mechanics, just like, you know, just like the Void Keep boss, just like the Force Keep boss, and just like Magic Keep boss. They all have different mechanics, and same thing with all these dungeons. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 dungeons. How many of the faction wars are there? Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So man, I don't know, guys. Look, this is what's making me become a free-to-play player, because I haven't spent a single penny on the game since, I don't know, probably at least 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. The gems I get are from the quest, basically, And anything I get inside any other rewards, I basically don't even spend in this game anymore. Why? Because there's nothing exciting. There's nothing that's saying, VNN, you need to go and spend because you enjoy playing that game mode so much. But there's nothing unique about it at all. There's literally nothing unique about any of those game modes except for collecting a bit of a little bit more power creep. But that's pretty much about it. Anyways, guys, look, love you guys. I absolutely do. And yeah, man, just stay classy, yeah?